Hi, how are you going? Welcome to me, Redski here, on another round of Righteous Readings, Raw and Righteous Readings. And that is no more than to the truth as it is today for this particular reading. This is the last March May monthly, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get it done. I'm a little bit behind schedule on this round of readings, unfortunately. But this is a very important spread. I think it is actually the most important spread I do on my channel. This was a spread that I developed myself after entering the tarot community and realizing, shit, there's none of these around. Why can people need messages for this shit? Because I'm seeing in the world there's a lot of people suffering these issues, and I'm not seeing any way they can get answers. So I developed the spread myself. It's gone through a few shedding of skins changes over the couple years my channel's been running, but it has stayed in its present positioning for quite some time now, and I find it really does get to the bone of the core of the issue. It can actually surprise people a bit just what this reflects in this spread. So, addictions or in the midst of recovery. Now, what does that cover? That covers any and all addictions, my darling, from drugs, sex, rock and roll, too much Ben and Jerry, too much internet, smoking, bulimia, food disorders, as well as things like self-harm such as cutting, behavioral aspectual issues, anything and all. An addiction is anything that you do to relieve yourself from suffering and or pain. So if that's what you're doing and you're in an addictive state, trying to get out of the swell of depression, illness, sadness, grief, yourself, mental health maybe, or whatever it tains to for you, you've come to the right place. And it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, and I'm so glad that you did come to view this today. Now, this is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with every single person, but I'm hoping what my aim is here, and always has been when I do the spread, is for everyone that watches it to take a little piece of something away, even if it's just to know that you are not alone, a little snippet of advice, something that, you know, oh, yep, I've been through that and asked myself that, just some sort of a click, a switch, a sting or a buzz, but of the non-addictive variety, just, you know, just a feeling is all I'm asking for. So, this runs for the month of March, and as I said, it covers any and all addictions, and in any stage of that addiction, whether you're still very much in the thick of it, thinking about coming out the cusp of it, or whether you're very much on the cusp of it and starting to move forward into a recovery state. And speaking of recovery, that also covers you guys too. So whether you are day 1, day dot, day 7, or day decade, you know what I mean? One thing that we do learn about addictions is having an addictive personality, or having that coping mechanism or vice to soothe the issue that you had, that the addiction is helping to soothe, mask, be that as it may, as you would explain it to in your neck of the woods. But until that is dissolved, that main root of issue is dealt with, which led you into this, which we've got a place for that here too, so don't worry, we're going to go find out what that was for you. You can't begin to heal, and you can't begin to make the adjustments. But I'm not going to stand here and lie to you guys. If you've ever suffered hardcore addiction, like real addiction, where you wake up in the morning, you have this need, you have triggers that set you off, you must fulfill this need. Like the mouse in the maze to get the cheese, you must do it. Whether you want to or you're hungry or not, it's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact, you know there's fucking cheese and you got to go get that cheese. Sorry if your addiction is swearing. I do sometimes slip out naughty words. I do apologise. I do try very hard during the spread not to do that. So, naughty, red, stop that. Apologies. I'll be much more behaved. But it's that sense of compulsion, not having much control. Now, I know we do have control, we have choices, but I'm talking about being in a position where you are literally being sort of not much in it, you know what I'm saying? Now, if that is you, this is the place to be. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, once you're in use this addictive coping mechanism, you know, no matter how many years you're in your recovery for, you could be in 20 years, you know, 2 decades into your recovery. You will still constantly have to manage your addictive patterns to move forward. It's going to be something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. And that doesn't mean you're always going to fall into the trap of addiction. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these triggers or issues or things, even though the things that may trigger you will change, the trigger result system, however, will not. Over 20, 30, 50, 20 billion, trillion years, I don't give a it doesn't change, because once we reward ourselves by putting that in place, it is like the wrap with the cheese. We know that reward is there, and we know how good that cheese tastes. Now we want that cheese. We don't give a shit about any of the rest of it. We just want cheese. And we would go through 1,000 guillotines to just get a snippet of that delightful Swedish cheese. Indeed, Wallace. Can't remember which one likes the cheese now. There's the man, that's Wallace. Okay, Grommet's the dog, never mind. Sorry, flashback there myself, so there we go. So anyway, guys, let's get real now, because this is a serious subject, and it's not something to be made light of. Honestly, it's not. It's this is serious. You know, a lot of people are faced with this. A lot of people live in the darkness about this because they are too afraid to consult in their family, partners, closest friends, children. You know, they live alone in silence about this, in a deep-seated sufferance of feeling sufferance, trying to relieve it, going through a cycle, feeling dreadful about it. You know, people that suffer addictions are actually some of the most tormented types of people in this world. And it's not just the trauma that they went through initially which has caused this, it's the traumatic trauma they put themselves through with the agonizing realization of their life, of the system that they have to go through to get their reward when they are triggered, or whenever they just wake up in the morning and see the sun. Just the fact it's another day is sometimes enough for someone that suffers addiction to just fall right off that wagon within a moment's notice. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not making fun of this. It's a bloody serious subject. You know, I have lost friends to addiction. I have lost family. And I mean dead, gone, overdosed. I don't mean just, you know, don't talk to them anymore, friend. I mean they're no longer with us. I've seen people who were drug addicted, for example, make others' lives hell to the point where they've committed suicide. I've seen families displaced, children left starving. I've seen some shit in my time, guys. Sorry, I know, sorry. Sometimes it's warranted. I've seen some stuff, man. From a young age, not a very young age, but from a teenage, I learned fast about how this world works and what side attracts you. You know, once you're over there, it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. Not impossible, but it takes a lot of courage, a lot of tenacity, and a lot of self-belief, especially when others don't believe in you. Stand up and to be honest with yourself, and to look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I did that. But I am going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive it all. I'm going to apologize now. And I'm going to move forward and wipe this clean. And release the stain of agony that is attained to that. All right, everyone. Addictions and Recovery, March 2022. Let's get into the spread, its placements, and I'll explain all of the meanings to you. And if I feel that we need to, we will clarify certain placements if I feel that we need a little bit more of a layer deep of message here for you to get answers and solace, okay? Now, before I get started, I want to put out my offering, as I do every time with this particular spread. If anyone is in a need of help, and if there is any way that I can reach out to help you, write SOS on any one of my star sign videos throughout my catalogue on my playlist. I will find you, no matter where you are in the world, and I will get in contact with you. I will work it out, And if that's just someone to talk to, some advice, just, shooting the breeze, banging it back and forth, or just if there's anything I can do and you want to reach out, please do, okay? It's an offer I give every time with this spread I do. If you are in trouble and you are in need of some sort of assistance, or you just need someone to talk to, or you need some advice, or if there's just anything I can do, SOS on any star sign video. You don't have to write anything else. I will understand what's going on, and I will come and I will find you. Whether it's through YouTube platform or other social medias, I'm a very resourceful person. And yes, I am an Australian living in Australia, but I don't care if you're on the other side of the world. I will find you, and I will indeed try my very best to help you. And if I can't help you, I will give you a number or a link or something to a foundation or someone that is trusted in your neck of the woods that can help you. Do not suffer in silence. And if you are ready to take that step into recovery, I applaud you. Because this shit ain't easy. None of it is. All right. Now, with all them sentiments out the way, I do believe that we should begin on this March 2022 reading for all addictions or stages of recovery from addiction or based issues. Here we go, guys, and thank you again so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Please leave a like if you feel so that you don't mind to do that. If not, please subscribe to the channel, because I do think this is a very important spread, and I really would like to get it out into the algorithm out there so more people can see it, because it's why I made it, just to help people in this position. Okay, and remember, if this doesn't quite fit your story, it is a general. I hope that you can at least take something from here today, even if it's just spending time with some like-minded peeps. Okay, guys? Here we go. March 2022, the addictions and recovery spread. Okay, guys? Since it is cold and empty, no one's around to judge me. I see it clearly in your touch. Oh, oh, I say, ooh, it's mine in my eyes. I touch, and I say, ooh, 'cause I'm blinded by the light. Sure, I can touch. Well, I don't know if that resonates for you, if you understood that at all. Here we go with the reading. I just also heard the song, don't let me down, don't let me down, down, down. That might resonate for you as well. Just some additional messages coming through there. Okay, let's get into this spread. So we've got specific placements here to different aspects of you and what you're going through at the moment. Okay, and as I said, once I've explained them all, if it's looking a little murky still, I'll clarify further, okay? So this is the addiction and recovery spread for those in the midst of addictions, any and all, or in the stages of recovery for March 2022. So the first placement, your first card, reflects you currently. So coming into this reading, your current energy, what are you sporting? We're sporting the 8 of Swords reverse. So coming into March, coming into this reading, guys, there is a real sense of depression. There's a real scent of it, I want to say, sorry. Words, I know Mercury isn't retro at the moment, but me and language are just not friends at the moment, and I'm a Gemini, Sun, Venus. Mercury is my ruler. We are usually besties. I think we're fighting at the moment. Put it that way. We're having marital discord of the vocabulary and speech variety. Sorry. So in your current energy, there is a real sense of depression here, and there is a real sense of having some sort of treachery in the past that you're trying to move away from now that you're trying to heal. There's a lot of difficulty around this, and you've put in so much hard work already, and there's more still to do here, I feel. You are pulling back a little bit. I feel like you're also in a state of shock, like shock and awe kind of thing. Like, it's really taking your attention. It's almost like a bit of a fatality to you. It's like you've been slapped in the face with the wet fish, and you're just you're shocked, you're so shocked. But most of all, you are just in a state of, oh my golly. There is a lot of depression around this, with this 8 of Swords reversed. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of mental anguish here. It's all up in your head. But when it's inverted, we are trying to put it into the physical and move away from it as best as possible. Try to get it out of our head, put it into rationalities, form a set to see exactly if this is like a rational or just a mental fear. That's not actually a rational one. It's just anxieties, which I feel is a lot of what's going on for you right now. That's what I was getting to. Just let me grab a sip of my drink because I'm getting really choky. I'm doing this reading while my kids are asleep, so we can actually have some peace and quiet. So I'd like it for you to be able to hear me. Apologies. Okay, so your next card is about your obstacles. So things that you're going to face that are during the month of March that it's really going to need to pay attention to and really going to have to possibly deal with. So it's a bit of a heads up for the month. So your obstacles for the month of March. Major Arcana, the world inverted. When the world is inverted, it speaks of an imperfect cycle, Instead of the world going its course and coming back and ending, this little divine world wants to just keep spinning in an imperfect cycle going on forever and ever and ever, and just, doing its own thing. But this is sorry, don't know what's going on there. Failure to complete the task that one starts. This is a real sense of lack of vision and just disappointment. Wanting things to wrap up, that sense of, wanting things to close off, tie it up. But this will not sit still long enough to even get a grasp on it, let alone actually allow you to put a bow on it all nice and neat there. Put it on that top shelf that you're so keen to do. I feel like this can attain to people, places and things, depending on where you are on the addiction and or if you're more on the recovery stage and where you are at on that stage. The world inverted in your obstacles says to me that there are a lot of things that do need to be wrapped up. But these things aren't going to be wrapped up right now. These are things that you're going to have to still deal with or reassess the way that you plan to so eloquently wrap it up. Because I feel like these things are going to still be around you long after March has been and gone. For example, if you're suffering addictions, maybe someone in the house is the one that sort of, the first person to say, oh, you're doing the worst thing, you shouldn't be doing that. But when you're, in a state of despair and not looking too well, they're the first one to open their wallet maybe to accommodate that that addictional base or something to that nature, okay? I feel like there's something around you that it's a very big obstacle, and March is just the beginning stepping stones of trying to deal with this. As I said, this world is inverted. It is imperfect. This cycle is going to continue until it is done right. I don't feel like there's going to be any time in March. I'm going to tell it to you straight, guys, because there's no point me telling you fairy floss, butternut, pumpkin crap, because that's not going to help you. It'll make you feel great today, and tomorrow you'll go smack into the wall and you'll be like, what was she talking about? Why did she just tell me that everything was going to be fairy floss? I'm going to eat ice cream today and everything was going to be great when the sky is falling. No, we don't do that here. You're gonna, if you need, you're gonna hear it. It's just the way I roll. I don't do all that. Your third placement, this one we're doing now, is all about your emotions, how you feel, what's going on there for you for the month of March. Your emotions is that of the King of Pentacles. Now, this is heavy-handed earth energy here. The King of Pentacles, he's all about the growth. He is I call him my smart cookie. I always see him as the accountant, facts, figures, mathematical, astronomical numbers. And he's just sitting there doing it with the donut like it was, A, B, C is not a problem at all, like astronomical numbers. The King of Pentacles is all about leadership here. He's all about wisdom. And he's all about that security and growth and the material, the attainable, money. He's very experienced. He's the smart cookie. And he's a very mature individual, very mature leader with great business skills. Like this guy, he can find money he can find it if there's like someone that's cooked the book, if someone, he's very, very smart at being able to work out what's gone where and where down to the last dollar. Nothing gets past the King of Pentacles. Nothing at all. This guy is very loyal, though, in his upright. He's extremely loyal. And his advice is just absolute. It's solid. It's as solid as the pentacle he holds. It's not flippant or fluent or airy-fairy or, ferocious like fire. It is stable, solid, attainable. Hold in the clutch of your hand. You can gift it too. Your fourth placement, the next card that we are going to look at, reflects your thoughts. So we just did your emotions, how you feel. So you feel very, King of Pentacles, very mature, invested, smart, very analytical, really thinking about that. Maybe writing out exactly costs of things here as well. Really looking into that. But your next position, as I was saying, is all about your thoughts, what you're thinking. Doesn't want to go away. 8 of Pentacles reversed now. So a secondary Pentacle card. So you have them both in your emotions and now in your thoughts. In your thoughts, so with the 8 of Pentacles reverse, it is that consensus of not putting in the skill, the effort to get what's needed here done. It's that sense of, you knocked off a smoko and where have you gone, yo? Haven't seen you all day. Where are you at? And you're under the shade of the coolabah tree, having a nap with a cold one. Of course not, because this is the addiction spot, so you wouldn't be doing that. But a cold drink, not of an alcoholic variety is what I meant. Like I said, that Mercury is not doing me any favours, so please just... Words are my weakness at the moment when they're usually my strength. So I'm really struggling with this reading a little bit. I've got to be honest with you guys, okay? So I'm looking a little red's going red, and looking a little bit twitchy and uncomfortable. It's just because communication is not my strong point for some reason today. El comunicado has gone no. El mucho. Nay. I have no idea what I just said then either. Okay, so now that we've really confused everyone, let's try and pull this back. 8 of Pentacles reverse. I'm feeling like there's a little bit of vanity here. I've got to be honest. A little bit of ego, a bit of self going sort of, like, I'm too good for that. Like, I don't need to do this. Like, because if I can't afford it, someone else will pay my way or, be it as it may, someone will sort it out for me. I wouldn't go too strong in the thought process with that kind of thought process. It's not going to serve you very well. This is a bit of, bit of vanity, bit of ego, not putting in the skill, the effort, any effort at all, really. Maybe not even showing up for the daily job, or, some of you, it could be a TAFE course, additional curriculum, a certain diplomacy in a certain skill that you need, or a license, etc., for a job position. But it seemed like such a good idea at the time. But right now, it's just like in your thought process, like, nah, I just cannot give to that right now. I am, this plate is full, you know what I mean? Your next position, now this is a very important one, guys, so listen up. Your 5th position is about what started this, what led you on the road to addiction, what started this whirlwind ride you've been on from then till now, okay? And whether you're in recovery, that still applies to you. Don't you worry. Yes, it does. You're going to be constantly needing to reassess this over the decades. So, what started this for you? Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. This is bad luck, bad sequence, losing faith, losing hope, and just believing that everything had abandoned you, basically. There is no chance. There is no options, and every time I do try to have a punt, it goes badly pear-shaped. Things don't go well, don't go right. If anything, they go the exact opposite. They go terribly wrong, terribly bad. And you're starting to lose faith in even wanting to have that gamble or the punt anymore, of rolling the dice and hoping for the best, because every time you do it, doesn't turn out so good for you, I want to say. Bad luck. There's a lot of broken sequence around this card. This talks about interruption or inconsistency due to unexpected events, people, places, things. These are outside influences that weren't contemplated at the time of planning, but they're coming in now, and they're stomping on everything. And I'm seeing it's starting to irritate you somewhat, because the next card, the 6th card position, states how to overcome this. So this addiction, what brought you down here, how to overcome this. And this is very important, please. Now we have the Five of Pentacles reverse. How to overcome this is speaking in atonement to the fact that we really do need a new start and new idea systems here, especially on how to do with these triggers and how to deal with this initial issue, which we didn't deal with, which is why we went down that addiction path, and now we've got this addiction cycle going on. Okay, I hope you're kind of following me with what I'm trying to say here. The Five of Pentacles reversed in this position of how to overcome this is really speaking about a new start and ideas, using your imagination to overcome these obstacles that you're facing at the moment. You've got to look for new ideas and new ways to bring in something better using the same old crap you had before. It's like you've still got the same amount of Lego pieces that you had 10 years ago, but I want you to make it better this time, even though you know there's only one thing you can make, a wall. But let's improve it. Let's think about it. Let's restructure it a bit. The Five of Pentacles reverse is a sense of that. It's like I've still got the same Lego blocks that I had 20 years ago, same 8 piece. But instead of looking at the table going, I can't do this, it's 8 pieces, blah, 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 I'm knocking yourself down before you've even had a shot. The Five of Pentacles reverse is that of glass half full energy. So it's that I'm still dealing with the same old 8 Lego blocks. But if I put a positive spin on it, like, yeah, this is like totally fresh and I totally can do this. It's that whole positivity, bring on a better outcome because we've got nothing else to do, so why not try to spin it? If it doesn't bring out a different outcome, at least it might make you feel a little bit better because you're not yelling and screaming quite so much. Moving forward, advice for moving forward from now onwards. The Seven of Wands. Get above your combatants. Don't bow down for something that you're passionate about, especially when it's your convictions, standing up for yourself. You know, don't let others ramrod you. Stand up against your combatants. And when you do, you will make gains here. And they will start to listen, understand, maybe even respect you in some ways for having the ball and goal. For standing up, raising the wand and saying, no, actually, I ain't no sheep. I'm falling into line on this one. No, I don't agree with that. This is my opinion. Take it, leave it, whatever. Bash me with your stick. Bash me with your wand. But I'm going to let you know what I think before I go. Now, these next 3 cards are extremely important because the first card, what I'm about to show you now, which is the 8th card of this spread, is the outcome. Then the 9th and 10th card clarify the outcome. Okay, so it's a little prezi of little message in a little storyline for you, the ending of this spread. This is why I love this. So as I said, let me repeat it again. The 8th card, which is in this case is the 3 of Swords, is the outcome. 9th and 10th, 4 of Swords, the Moon, Major Arcana Pisces, clarifies the 3 of Swords, which is the outcome moving out of March 2022. So let's begin with this. The outcome is heartbreak, sorrow, dispersion, separation, pain, sorrow, strife, removal, opposition, separation, and delay. An ending here. Feeling heartbroken, feeling absolutely gutted, I want to say, guys. It's a hard outcome. Don't get much harder than 3 of Swords, to be honest, except for there's a select few, but let's not get into that now. Clarifying this heartbreak, 3 of Swords is 4 of Swords and the Moon. The Moon is major arcana for Pisces, and of course March is Pisceans' birthday month, so happy birthday to all the Pisces out there, if you're a Pisces sun, and other placements, of course. Many blessings and many returns to the fish Pisces. Happy birthday. So clarifying this 3 of Swords, this real heartbreak, this real dispersion, this real sorrow, this real pain. This firstly the 4 of Swords. This pain is too much to bear. And it's going to cause you to need to go into retreat, into repose, into a state of taking to tomb, taking yourself out of the game altogether, intellectually, physically, mentally, the whole works, and literally putting yourself in a stage of isolation / status. Nothing can touch you, nothing's coming near you. You put yourself to bed for a while, I want to say, till the air clears and until you are in a better position to be able to face this, deal with this, or even accept this. Clarifying that 4 of Swords now is the Moon. wow, guys, this is mega energy, because not only some Piscean energy, but this is very the obscure, the unknown, and this is very unknown on where you're going to move forward from here. When you come out of that Four of Swords energy, you are going to step into obscurity of its finest. This is deception. This is moving into the twilight of the darkness, the obscurity, the intuition, the disillusionment, the danger, the bad influences here, the ulterior motives, the falsities of the friends, families, selfishness, deceit, craftiness, disgrace, slander, libel, superficiality, unknown enemies. This is of all of which is not known, of all of which I cannot see, but I do know that it's out there and it's actively trying to get to me. And you're very much not paying attention to that, though. You are going through so much already without that moon energy. Just look at this, like, through all this heartbreak, this pain, to the point where you can't maybe even get out of bed, can't even do your day, can't even get in the shower, can't even go to work. You are totally broken here. But when you do make the move to move forward, you're going to find out just how deep the wells of darkness, deceit can run in this world. The moon. Like I said, this is all about deception. This is all about that by which it hides. The moon is a very, very serious energy of deception, deceit, danger, bad influences, ulterior motive, falsities. Lying, cheating, stealing, in the dark, oh yeah. And God knows what else. Evil things they've got in there. But there is a sense of also the moon cycle, I want to say to you in some way as well. I would be checking the March moon cycle. Pay special attention when the full moon comes in. Okay, actually, maybe I can tell you. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on a minute. Earth hours on the 26th. That's good to know. Hold on, 2 weeks. I'm not actually sure. It's not written on this one. I thought the calendar I had up there did have it. I've swapped everything around. It's crazy. Nevertheless, look for when the full moon is. Look at the moon cycles during the month of March, going into April, please. Because there's something about the moon cycle, I feel that's going to also activate this. You're going to be coming out of the state of repose, and you're going to be in no way healed from this. It's going to be still as raw as the day it was cut. You know, the heart is still very much a bleeding. It is by no means... that healing has not even started. You are still in that shock of awe of the trying to process it. That's why you went into this state of repose, I feel, to really try and grab some understanding of reflection within self. When you come out of that Four of Swords, you really do see how disillusioned you are, how much deception there is, how much you have not been seeing what's right in front of you and has been for quite some time. You're going to feel a little bit stupefied. Get stupefied. Disturbed. If you like heavy metal rock, disturbed, stupefied. You must hear that song. The underlying energy for the whole month for you is that the Knight of Cups reversed. Now this I want to warn you of a little bit, guys. This is a player energy. Knights are the messengers of the tarot. They come in each of their suit. The cups, of course, is water energy. Okay, so this does attain to love and emotions and, you know, all that good rocking back and forth kind of good shit. But the Knight of Cups in reverse, this isn't, it's not what you want. Because this is deception and fraud. This is someone that tells you everything that you want to hear, but doesn't do anything. They never put it into action. They never put it into the forefront. They talk a good game, but their actions don't say the bloody same. They just all talk, yeah, very playeristic energy, very selfish energy, very egotistical energy. You know, you have a real problem with sorting the fact from fiction at the moment, and your appearance is just misleading. You know, this person living in a fantasy land, all that cotton cows and fairy tales and blah, 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 and fairy floss and what's nots. If this is a person you're dealing with, outside of you, look, 2 of Pentacles underneath that, you know, a lot of agility to try and handle this individual. You're going to be rocking it back and forwards harder than a sea biscuit, mate. But I'll tell you what, right now, all you're going to do is be burning out your rubbers. It's just boom, 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 boom. The rocking ain't stopping. I don't mean it in the woo way, but I mean like you trying to deal with this night. I throw my hands back and forth. That's what I think you're doing. You're just like, yeah. Dude, not today. Not any day. Not this month. Unfortunately, yes. There is a sense of someone coming in, maybe even sort of wanting to, spend some time with you. I don't think it would be the most wisest of suggestions. And I know it's hard because I know you're lonely. Everyone just get lonely. But people, places, and things will trip you up, will take you down, and will trim your percentage of success within a half-beaten second of a moment's notice of your heartbeat. I'm 100%, 1,000%, triply, awfully, dumply, absolutely, positively positive about this fact. People, places, and things will F up any chance of not having triggers, not falling back into old patterns, and to moving forward in the right direction. People, places, and things. Your biggest issues, your biggest challenge, but most importantly, your biggest danger. Because these things will make you feel back into the trigger action of your repetitive cycle quicker than what I can take my socks off after school day. I'm serious. This is a bigger message for those in recovery, especially if you're many times down the track. Be very careful. Because if you lose your security and you take time within yourself to the point where you start to, lose some perception here, you could get very much lost in that moon energy and actually, and do a lot of hard work you've done. And really set yourself back mentally by doing so as well, even more so than the physical. The mental repercussions would be quite severe, I feel. Just heed warning on this one, okay, guys, for this month. There is a lot of shifts going on. There's a lot of planets in earth energy in that at the moment. There's nothing in fire, I believe, at the moment. And we don't have nothing in... Oh, I'll show you in a sec. When we don't have anything in fire, we don't have any desire or any uppity action. No action. You've got the Sun, the happiest card in the tarot, and underneath that, High Priestess. Ooh. This is mad, hectic awesomeness. Like, seriously, I'm a buzz. You should be too. Like, joyous happiness, momentumness, sentiment. Not real buzz. Okay, we don't do that here. We're trying to get away from buzz. Look. The Sun, firstly. This is great because this just confirms everything I was just saying to you. This is complete and total satisfaction. This is finding the joy, the contentment, the happiness just in the simple things of life again. You know what I mean? It's about, oh my God, accomplishment, success, contentment, favorable relationships, love, joy, devotion, unselfish sentiment. It's all about, engagement, a happy marriage, pleasure in the daily experience, a good friend, high spirits, warmth, sincerity, derived from the simple things, like I said before. And it's just all about achievement in the liberation and arts. And feeling mighty, mighty fine, like the sun is shining down on me all the time. Love that. And underneath that beauty was this beauty, another major arcana. You are priding your wisdom, sound judgment, using proper knowledge here to make sound judgments. Pulls the ball over the High Priestess' eyes. She knows all, sees all, and is even gifted some extra secrets that most would never know or be too afraid to see. The High Priestess is that solid of the fairing between this world and the next. She is the gatekeeper. She has the pomegranate there, which is sign of the afterlife. The High Priestess also stands for the moon because she runs by the moon's cycles as well. She's all about wisdom, sound judgment here, common sense, serenity. What's the word I was looking for? Objectivity as well as penetration, believe it or not. Foresight, intuition, perception, self-reliance, emotionlessness, and platonic relationships, not the ones where you go in the bet I just knocked off my knob. As if, excuse me for 1 minute, please. Oh my God. Did anyone lose their knob? Apparently I just did. No joke. Alright, one for the bondage glue after the addiction spread, of course. This is an almighty energy. I love this. Just take a really good look at these two cards for a minute. What do you feel when you look at these two cards? I see happiness, childlike manner, during the length of days, celebration. I see wisdom, stoic, fruitfulness, understanding, but withheld, very managed, very unadjustable, very secretive. Light and shadow here, light and shadow, light and shadow, the moon and the sun, the moon and the sun, day and night, day and night, day and night. I toss and turn, I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn, I can't never change. But when he keeps the silly game we play. Now look at me. Madness to magnet keeps attracting me. Day and night to check out that song as well. The Divine has given me some rather funky music from way back actually today. It's kind of been a little bit enjoyable about the 90s renditions of like hits that are no longer current or rememberable. Playing them all today on the VHS. Now anyway, it's rage. Not that kind of rage. It's a music show here in the Down Under where I'm from. Australia. I'm from Australia. We call it Down Under because we are under everything here, even the animals. It's a joke, guys. Just lighten it up with a bit of humour. Sorry. This is very serious, but I'm ecstatic about this energy, and I wish you could feel it too. This is magnetic. This is joyous, but being wise and full of wisdom as well. It's the perfect light and shade, sun and moon, happiness but wisdom filled, joyous but sound and solid. Like, I cannot stress this enough how good this is for you. Cannot. This for an addictions and recovery spread. Can I screenshot this? Can I make a DVD out of this thing? Because this is the rockin'. This is it all. This is it all. This is what you want. Happiness, joy, fulfillment, the proper judgment, to be able to make the right judgment calls, to understand the knowledge, to know how to use that knowledge, and how to have some freaking fun in the sun and actually enjoy life, to be able to be smart enough to take it on, and be able to be useful enough to enjoy it where you can. I love that. Thumbnail. That's it. I would love to make this a thumbnail.